Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia with Raindrop Lila, and today I just wanted to show you guys a sneak peek to a journal I am working on. And now my journals take a lot of time. I do a lot of slow stitching and hand stitching, so I'm not sure when I'll be done with this journal. But I wanted to kind of show you guys so you guys can kind of see a little bit of my process. And so what I started with, this right here was actually my daughter's, part of my daughter's baby bedding. And I just, my mom came to visit and she brought it to me. And so I cut off, I'm keeping the quilt for her, but the bumper I decided to use because I think it works so well with my my Parisian collection, because I think it works so well with my latest collection with all the pinks. I think it looks so good. So I was gonna just kind of show you guys so you guys can see and have an idea of how I do things. So this the batting was super thick, so I trimmed some of it away. And so I started with this piece right here, and then I actually hand stitched a piece of lace over this part right here. Okay, and then I actually added a little border right here. And this is from a vintage dress. The pom-pom trim was white, and I actually hand dyed it. And then I have some sari silk trim right here, and I'm going to continue it on the end. And then I made these fabric roses, and I just used some silk, and then this is like the lining from a vintage dress that I had. Okay, so I made the little roses and then the little leaves coming out, and then I added these little pieces. I actually sewed so that it kind of gathers it up. I don't know if that makes sense, because it was a little bit loose. So I felt like that was the perfect little solution, and I think it's so pretty. Okay, so that's the cover, and I'm still working on it. I still have some stitching to be done on it. And then I have, this is a file. So I want it to be a soft cover. So then I used a file folder for that. And let's see, so it doesn't look very thick right now, but usually I fill them up quite a bit. This is just like the start. By the time I'm done, it'll fill up quite nicely. So this is the journal, and then this is my spine. So I got 3 signatures in here. Okay. So, oops. So this is an envelope that I used as a flip out. And then it's a little tuck right there. I'll just do a really quick little flip through so you guys can kind of see how I started up. This is avocado dyed paper. Isn't that pretty? I just love this so much. Isn't this pretty? I just love this so much. Okay, so this is just the beginning of it. I still have quite a ways to go on here. So these are... But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys kind of an idea of where it's going. And I really wanted to show you guys how it looks kind of in between the stages of before I finish it up. And now once I glue it on there, I also like to reinforce it by stitching it on there. Okay. And let's see. Oh, and I'm also going to be adding some of this polka dotted sari trim. I think it's so pretty, and it's kind of like the perfect contrast to the pinks and creams to have a little bit of black in there, and I think it just is perfect. So I was so excited because I just ordered some more of this silk sari. So that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so here I'm gonna be folding this over and I'll be stitching it to the book basically, and I'll probably glue it down first and then I'll be sewing it together, and I'm gonna show you guys bits and pieces kind of how I do that. Okay, so here's the cover. It's a soft cover. So now I just kind of look at it because I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go. And I think I'm going to just start on the side here. And I do a lot of stitching on my journals, and I like to make sure that everything's kind of tacked down. And so I'm going to kind of fast forward through this part, and I'm just going to show you guys how I do my stitching. I just stitch the edge down there. I'm actually using some vintage fabric from a wedding gown on the edging. And I'm using that just as it kind of like it frames the side there, and I think it looks really pretty. Okay, and then I didn't show you guys, but this part right here that I'm doing, I'm actually sewing on a bit of lace. So I added a white piece of lace on top of the pink at the top, and I actually sewed it all around and stitched it down. So I stitched it all down first, and then I'm going to stitch it to the book after I glue it down. And here I'm using a Tyvek. I'm repurposing some shipping material, which is that Tyvek material, which really strengthens the spine. And I did some decorative stitching right here. And so I think that it'll hold it down, but it's also made for just the decorative aspect of it. I think it's really pretty. And I'm kind of showing you how it looks now, how you can see it on the sides there. So here's my 3 signatures. And here's how I sewed them on there. And I also have a bit of fabric on there. And now I'm gonna be gluing it. I'm going to be using some Fabrifix. I love using this glue. This is my favorite glue to use for my journals. And so I'm adding it to just the cover first, and then I'm going to basically, I use my finger and I just kind of smear it to make sure it gets all over that cover. And I try to move fairly quickly because it does, once you get like a light coat of the glue on here, it does glue pretty quickly. So, or it dries very quickly. So I'm going to go really quickly over it, and then I'm going to put the cover on, and I also test and make sure that it doesn't come up. So if it doesn't glue properly, I do go back and double check it and add a little bit more. And I also do my stitching afterwards to also get like a really good clean edge and have it just more secured by the stitching. And here I'm going off camera, but because I want to make sure that it's gluing properly. And so I'm just pushing everything kind of down together, and I'm also trying to make sure that it's straight at the same time. And see, I'm pulling it off again because I want to make sure that it gets a better seal, and I think it was a little bit crooked in that spot. So you do have a little bit of time to play with it, but I do feel like I still need to move quickly because I don't want it to dry out too quickly. So it's a lot better than, like, let's say, I don't know, Crazy Glue or E6000. But I still feel like I need to work quickly to make sure that I get a really good seal, or yeah. So I do the cover, the front cover first, and then I will do the spine, and then I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so there you have it. And I keep running my fingers over it to make sure that it's sealing properly. And now I'm looking, and it has a little bit, it feels like it's a little bit longer on the edge, and I'm going to be sewing that to the journal now. So I'm doing the front page here first. And it's just a bunch of tiny stitches, and I actually love the little stitches. I think they're really pretty, but it also helps secure the journal. And actually having all the little pom-poms there it gets a little tedious because the pom-poms will kind of get in the way of the string when you're like sewing it. But it's okay. The pom-poms are so pretty that, you just learn to work with them. Okay, and then I'm going over on the side here, and I'm attaching the little tuck spot too. And I'm knotting it off here because I need to change my thread, and then I just keep going, and I'm gonna just keep sewing all the way around. Okay, so see here, the journal side right here is a little bit it's a little bit longer, but I just make it work for me. I'm just gonna stitch it to the cover the best I can. Okay, so I'm going to tuck this little piece inside, and I'm going to stitch it so it's fairly straight down here. See that? And the cardstock or the file is fairly thick when you're actually sewing through it. So I'm needing to use this little, okay, I forget what it's called. My little nibble. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's helping me push the needle straight through because it's metal. So I'm able to just sew with that. Otherwise, it's really rough on your hands. So that really, really saves me. I hope this is going to be helpful to you guys. I don't usually make process videos, but I've been trying to share a little bit more kind of like behind my scenes of how I make my covers and my pages, so you guys can kind of get an idea. But sometimes it's just really detailed work, so that's why I actually my husband fast forwarded through this so you guys can kind of get an idea of the process, hopefully. And I'm just kind of hoping to kind of share a little bit of my tips or kind of what I'm doing. Here I'm just going to flip through it a little bit. I always flip through my journals multiple times because that helps me get a feel of the theme and the pages, and also kind of what direction I want to go with the journal. And so here I have basically, it's almost like a naked journal right now. I have some pages that are decorated, but for the most part, the pages are pretty simple, and I guess I did fill in some of them, but I'll be adding more to the journal as I go. I always work in layers and keep kind of adding to it until I feel like it's ready and kind of complete. I will also have a full flip through of this journal of the way it looks finished, and that one will be probably a little bit shorter. But for now, I just kind of want to show you guys how it looks, and I'm going to go through it. The pretty lace is from Susie with Alabaster Flask, or she's actually Mary Not Martha on Instagram, and she has really pretty laces that I used in this journal. And here I made a tuck spot where I glued 2 pages together. And then I have a piece of fabric on that one, on that page. I used my Parisian printable collection for this journal, and obviously the kit is so huge I couldn't use everything in this journal, but it was really fun to pick the pieces that I felt worked best for this journal. And I also added some book pages and some music sheets and a few different pieces like this pretty notebook paper. Okay, here's another tuck spot. And then this is the back page, and I have a little tuck spot right there where you can hide little notes or little ephemera. And so that's it so far. I'm thinking what else I'm going to add. Maybe I'll add this piece here. I think it's really pretty and delicate. This piece is from my friend Cheryl with the Journal Cottage. And it's such a delicate piece of lace. I just love the way this looks, and I think it fits really perfect with this journal. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit of embroidery thread through the little through the lace in the middle there. I've done that before in a blue journal, and it just looks so pretty. So I'm just going to kind of go through in and out on these pieces. This is such a pretty piece. I think that using vintage laces and textiles is just it's such a nice way to add more character to your journal, and they're always so much different than like the store-bought ones, and I just love this piece. It's very special. It's actually from, I believe she said it was from a doll maker. She used this type of fabric for making doll clothes. Now I'm thinking I want to add something else. I'm thinking maybe I'll add a bow here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to tie it up now right there. I'm going to tie a little bow. And again, I'm tying it a little bit kind of loosely. See, isn't that pretty? I think it's such a pretty little detail. Okay, and then on the back here, see how the edge is a little bit bigger? It's a little bit larger than the front, the fabric on the edge. And I'm just going to add a little bit of trim, and that will cover it up and you won't even notice. See that? And actually seeing it kind of sticking out, the little bit of lace, is actually really pretty. It's actually a nice detail. So there it is. And all the little, let's see. I love the little cotton fabric in the front. I think it's such nice detail. Okay, and then here's a string from the different signatures, and I think I'm going to add something to it. I need to pick a few pieces. Maybe some buttons, maybe some beads. I'm going to kind of look through and see what works. Oh, I think I should pull out some of my paper clips too. Oh, and I have some brads. I'll pull out some of my pink brads because maybe I'll find a place to use those too. And I found a ball pen. I'm just kind of looking for things that I think will work well in this journal. And so it's better to pull them all out now so I can have them available as I work in it. And I always like to have a good variety so that if something doesn't quite look right, I kind of can move on and use something else. I'm not limited, or I don't feel like I have to go into a certain direction even if I'm not quite sure if that works or not. So that's kind of why I love having a good variety of pieces when I work with something, because I need to be able to choose and make adjustments if something does not work out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just pulling everything I think may work. And I have all these little bits and pieces, and they're kind of mixed in. And actually, it's pretty fun to kind of go through all the pieces. And sometimes I'll find unexpected pieces that I can add. Okay, we're going to move on. And now I'm going to thread these on here, and I'm kind of deciding which ones to use. And then I'm gonna make a little knot on there once I thread them on there. And I sometimes have to do double, triple knots to make sure they don't fall off, especially if the beads are a little bit bigger. I'll have to make a bigger knot at the bottom. And sometimes I have the knots also to separate the different pieces. If I add more than one bead or button on there, I will use the knots to kind of separate them, to hold them maybe up higher from each other. So here I have a little button. And I just thread it through. See that? And I think it's so cute. I'm kind of looking to see which ones I want to, like what order I want to put them in. You don't have to do that, but sometimes I like to put the larger ones on top and the smaller ones on the bottom. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. This is just kind of a little walkthrough of part of my process. And once my flip through video of this journal is ready, I will link it in the description box below. So if it's not out yet, just stay tuned because I'll have a full flip through so you can see that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.